2, 1, go!
Now, if you paid attention to the gameplay, probably looked quite similar to what you should see on a normal daily basis. Well, not on a daily basis, just when you log on the game. And those are pretty much the default settings that matter. And I'm going to be showing you a few of those settings that you can change to make your gameplay not look like that. Because, oh god, I somehow did actually okay on that. Anyways, I did make a list of stuff. We're gonna go to it quickly, hopefully. So I did some things and have some tips to share with you. So first up, we're gonna get the stuff that really matters out of the way first, just so if you can take anything from the video, it's what you saw in the beginning. So I think the most important thing right now will be actually arrow speed. Yeah, it's gonna be arrow speed. Arrow speed is really important. Just slowly getting your arrow speed higher and higher as you go. Like maybe you'll start at, obviously 1, and then maybe you'll bump it up to 1.1, then you'll bump it up to 1.2, and then like maybe 1.25, or slowly get it up across until you get to a point where you find it's good. Some people find 2 good arrow speed. Some people find 1.7 maybe good speed. 1.8 is the one I use. But people will find everything different because certain people will want things faster than others. My sister uses a 1.5 arrow speed, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So just remember what it was earlier. This is what it should look like now if everything else is the same. Just pay attention to how fast the arrows go for this little bit. Okay, it looks a bit fast, doesn't it? Yeah, it's fast. But you won't notice it jump up that high because realistically, again, you won't be going immediately to 1.8 arrow speed. You won't be shooting up super high, and it's not because you won't know how, and you won't know how to react. You'll be slowly raising it up as time goes on, and eventually you'll realize, hey, I'm doing a lot better. Now, next setting, also really important. Change your arrow lines. Using just the normal WASD does not work very well, and using something like ASDF also doesn't work. They're in a straight line, but it doesn't really work that well, because when you need to quickly move around from certain things to other things, your index finger and your middle fingers will be going much faster and much easier control than these guys. You see this? You see those 2 fingers? Yeah. They won't be able to go as fast as some other ones, and, it'll be off balance and whatnot. So, I recommend, 2 fingers. DFJK works completely fine. I use DFKL. Used to use SDKL. Any any line of 4, you could do it, like, diagonally. That's very weird for me, but, I mean, I guess it works, you know? As long as you're using both of your index fingers and middle fingers, it, or whatever you call them, it, it should work. Now we're just gonna change this here, and see this, 84 accuracy in the first section, same song,
3, 2,
my normal keybinds, still using up scroll, and all this other stuff. Everything is normal, except for my animation and the 2 settings I've just changed. And some other things, but we'll get to that. I did the better. I think I did the better, I'm pretty sure. It was much easier for me to do this than it was for me to do this. I'll tell you that much, especially since these 2 fingers are overlapping, and, well, don't use one hand. That's just gonna end horribly. Alrighty, next thing. We're gonna go middle scroll. Yeah, middle scroll. What middle scroll does, basically, if you're playing on the left, instead of your arrows being on the left, it's in the middle. If you're on the right, instead of your arrows being on the right, it's also in the middle. Now, you can get into opponent's arrows, which will be on the other side, and we don't have to worry about that because we don't care about that. But they're in the middle of your screen, which makes it a lot easier for you to concentrate on your arrows instead of looking to one side. If you look through the middle, makes it much more comfortable, and for me, I find it easier. Find it easier for me when I can concentrate on my things when I want to, because that is a valuable asset to have. Alrighty, next up, down scroll. This is a bit iffy because sometimes if you play a lot of FNF, you could just, and don't really change the settings, the arrows will normally be on the top, and that's what you'll be used to. But I did that, I changed it down scroll, and now it works for me. This is just the one I normally use.
3,
When I switched to it, I didn't take much of a dip in performance. My accuracy suffered a little bit, but my score didn't. And I don't think my misses did either, so down scroll for me does happen to work better. As you can see, that was much of an improvement from the other version that I just did. Which is good, especially since I just came from completing 30. Oh boy. Took like 20 minutes. Anyways, next up, and I advise you to do this if you are mobile or laptop or your grandma's old PC or something. Graphics quality, minimum. Those are in your Roblox settings up there at the top. You can also click escape. Settings, graphics quality down there, all the way down. Make sure your thing is set to manual, so you can actually change it. Alrighty, next up, we're going into your settings here. Off spectator mode, off materials, off shadows, off props, and on hide maps. And also remember, certain stages like this one, that one over there, and that one over there will oh, and maybe even that one too. Certain stages will because they make you render less while you're in the stage. Like certain things like this one has that whole staircase thing in the back and all of these little blocks you have to render. This has the wall. It's got this mostly, and there's pretty much nothing else you have to load in while you're playing the stage. This one has a lot, so certain stages will actually make you render more things than others, and thus make your FPS suffer. So the less stuff you can have in the back, like this, is pretty good. That's like pretty much the only thing that's good, because that's the only thing. Certain other things like this one might be good because again, it's just this wall. You do see that peeking out, so it might have to render that or that, but I mean, overall not bad. Certain things, again, will have to render less, which is why you want to choose the right stages and also minimize just the things that your game has to render in general. So by the time you go to play on the stage, you're getting all of the frames that you want. Let's see here. Performance stats. Show up there. No, it doesn't. Okay. And if it is, it is not named frames per second or something.
Three,
As you
two,
can see, it's
one.
pretty boring. You don't see a lot, and what you do see is not very good. Look at poor Bob over there. You looking low poly. I mean, something we do for FPS. Now that probably won't, unless you're, experiencing 2 frames per second, then obviously it'll help. But I mean, if you're using a PC like mine, that is at least mid-range, and you can run certain things, and you like it, and it doesn't cost your performance too much, using the highest performance settings probably won't help so much compared to, again, people playing on their iPhone 3 trying to run this at max settings. Don't do that. Also, certain things like Demon Tricky, which when they got remastered got very much low poly. Certain animations will make you render extra things compared to others, so try to use simpler animations or animations we know like Demon Tricky, who don't actually make you render a whole lot. Hi. So yeah, those are the lag optimizations, and that's my final tip. Although we do have some other things, like you can use down here the scroll underlay transparency. Yeah, you can make this like 0 and have completely black background over 0.4 or something, and make it like see-through, but not really. There are certain things you can do. We'll use full black for this, and then you can like change your arrow colors as well, change your arrow shapes to like circular, or if you want to keep this but fancy, you could use like step mania or step mania wide. You can even use bar. I do have a bar setting. I think I'll use bar for right now. And you could do whatever you want with your arrow colors. Those don't really impact much unless of course you're using a completely black screen, in which case do not use a dark color when you're using complete black, okay? Also, try to use colors that don't mesh with the backgrounds. As you can see, there are some with blue, some with green, some with red and orange. Try not to use colors that will mesh with the background too much. Unless, of course, you're using that, in which case it's fine. Just watch me do this. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that, the truly best thing you can do to improve your gameplay is just practice. By playing this song over and over again, I could eventually beat Foolhardy, and eventually beat Bushwhack. You know, much harder and longer songs, I would say. But yeah, you gotta start somewhere. If you want to beat Ballistic Remastered, you gotta play. Maybe not exactly Ballistic Remastered, but if you want to beat it in the actual mod, you gotta actually play. And now I did do it for Funky Friday. You could play actual FNF and get good from that way. I'm not saying this is the only way for you to get good at the video game. Just this is one of the ways, and a byproduct of being good at this, you'll be good at actual FNF. All the mods you like Tricky, Witty, Matt, Shaggy, you might be able to beat them all, except for Shaggy, because, oh god, 9 keys. But yeah, what you gotta do is practice over time. If we used the perfect settings for each of us, yeah, you had 40 hours and I had 80, which I actually do have 80 hours of gameplay on this. I don't know why. I have played for like 3+ days total worth of this. I don't know, but I mean, hey, I did it, so yeah, it'll be much better. Obviously, all those other things that I do say do help, but eventually you can start changing other things, and they'll not suck horribly. Now I have a terrible score here because I've been talking, but I mean, get the idea. Practice with the help of, or practice, or, you know, just gameplay in general. You don't have to sit there playing the same song over and over again. You can play other songs. You could play with the songs you want, and, you know, just over time you'll learn those charts, and eventually do better if you want. Yeah, and you can do what you want to do. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna tell you to play certain songs. Yeah, there are things like Calculating, Super Swag, Release, Animal. There are the good songs will that people say will help you get better at the game. But you know, we don't really care. You can play Blammed B-side over and over again and get good at Blammed B-side and eventually still be able to beat Ballistic Remastered. You know, certain songs are better than others. I'll turn this off. I think I'm gonna do one full thing of Expurgation.
3, 2, 1.